Hi YouTube. Today there's gonna be a lesson on how to play one of Neil's most famous and most covered songs, Down by the River. I'm not gonna teach you how to play the electric track version from the epic album Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. This is the live at Massey Hall version, the acoustic version, in which he only sings and plays his Martin acoustic guitar. He's not using mouth harp or any other instrument. Just the same plain, easy acoustic chords and the Herco pick and his specific strumming style, strumming technique. So some things that you should know before trying to attempt to play the Live at Massey Hall version is the tuning. He is in, or the song is in double drop D tuning. So normally if you're saying double drop D, you have your E standard tuning, which is E first string, A second string, D third string, G fourth string, B fifth string, and high E sixth string. That's your regular tuning. When we're talking about double drop D or D model tuning, it's the same tuning, but the first and the last string have to be tuned to a D note. So it's one full normally they're both E notes. This specific Neil Young tuning, they're both D notes. In the Live at Massey Hall version, he probably didn't have any tuning guy with him, so he probably did all the tuning himself by ear. So that's why you'll learn that when you want to play with that song, he's in a totally different tuning. In fact, he's in between regular E tuning and flat regular E tuning. What do I mean with flat regular E tuning? That's the tuning Smashing Pumpkins use, Stevie Ray Vaughan used it, sometimes Jimi Hendrix too. It's just standard tuning, but you drop it down half a step, so it would mean E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat and E flat. So Neil, for his Massey Hall concert, for the whole evening, he was in between this tuning and the regular E tuning. And on my digital laptop tuner, I can measure it's about 40% above the flat E tuning. So this would be D flat, D flat raised 40%. Yeah. This one should be A flat raised 40%. This one is the same as the first string. So again, D flat raised 40%. This is an F sharp or a G flat raised 40%. Here you have your B flat raised 40%. And then again, those are all the same notes. The D flat raised 40%. So for the chords in the song, you have for the verse there are only two chords. It's E minor 7 and A. In this tuning, your E minor 7, you can play first three strings, second fret. So with my middle finger at the second fret of the first string, with my index finger second fret of the A string. I'll talk in regular tuning terms, and then again my ring finger second fret of the D string. And what's special is that you play your open first string, but you hammer on the second fret with your middle finger. This are the chords for the verse, so you hammer on in your first EM7 chord. You can also play the third fret of your B string with your pinky. To give it that extra color, I added in the middle of the strumming. The difference. Then it goes into a regular A shape, but it sounds a bit weird, a bit different because of this lowered D note. And in this A chord, I lift my ring finger, so you have like your A sus chord. Hammer back, and I do a hammer on back to the second fret of the B string. So those are the little embellishments. So the E minor 7 chord with the pinky to the A chord, to the A sus, back to the A chord. Now for the bridge, you play a regular C, and I regularly do a hammer on with my middle finger on the second fret of the D string in the chord to a B minor, but I only play 4 strings, so the last 4 strings, the 4th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B string, and you play your open D string. Into the D chord. Play a full D chord, so all six of the strings, and it's a regular D shape, but you lift your middle finger. So 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and all the other strings are open. And into the chorus is a G, to a D, play the A sus sequence. So for your G, this is the G shape in this tuning. You play all strings, 5th fret of the 1st string on the 1st E string, 5th fret of the A string, open D, open G, 3rd fret of the B string, and open D. Into a D. Those other 2 chords I've explained already. The chords will be shown in the Neil Young boxes in this video, so you don't have to worry about that. technique, his strumming technique. The chords are very simple, but the strumming technique is the most important part of Neil's playing in this era, in the beginning of the 70s. So he plays fairly hard. He hits it hard with a pick, with this Herco Flex 50 green pick. He palm mutes a lot, so that's a palm muting effect. He normally plays quite close to the bridge. I would say at the end of your sound hole, just in the middle of the sound hole in the bridge. And that's a good place to pluck the strings with your pick.